Damn it, 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 damn it. Astros slugger Yordan Alvarez, who we have not seen since May 2nd, suffered a setback in West Palm Beach. Check that. I guess he was back for like a game or something. I forget. This is per Dana Brown. Alvarez reported hand soreness after taking swings Monday. He's been shut down. Here is Astros general manager Dana Brown telling the Houston area media at the ballpark at Coors Field about what's going on with Yordan.
So he flew down Sunday. Yesterday did some baseball activities, and then today showed up, and his hand was sore again. And so now at this point, we're going to pause with this setback and, get him to see another specialist and take it from there. And so, look, it's, it's tough time going through this with Yordan, but I know that he's, still feeling pain in the soreness in his hand. And so we're not going to try to push it or force him through anything.
Pause for a moment here. We're not going to try to force him to do anything. Well, I mean, a little too late for that, right? A little too late for that. Isn't this the second time they've had him doing things? And when they've tried to have him do things, things have not gone well. This is multiple times now. And I'm not going to blame Dana Brown. I'm not going to blame Joe Espada. I'm not going to blame Yordan Alvarez. This is all at the feet of the Astros medical staff, which is led by a man whose days should be numbered. In fact, these days should be done. Jeremiah Randall. Sean Mapes, it looked like you had some thoughts before we continue hearing from Dana Brown.
Oh, I was just going to say it's literally been 1 month since the last time this happened. Yes. So he got hurt at the beginning of May. And then at the beginning of June, it was setback. Didn't run him through a X-ray. Actually, he has a 60% healed broken bone,
which became an 80% healed 10 days later. But then
almost 100%.
But then weeks later, he is not at 100%.
No, he swung a bat and his hand hurts again. 1 month. It's I do appreciate them making it easy to follow this timeline. It's just once a month he either gets hurt or has a setback. So that's nice.
We should have had daily updates on him. I think that would have made things seem a little bit more concise.
Do they get daily updates from him?
Great question.
How often are they actually checking up on him?
Great question. This is the timeline before we continue to hear from Dana Brown. May 2nd, muscle strain in his hand. May 31st, he has a 60% healed fracture in his hand. June 10th, 80% healed. Sunday, Dana Brown said Yordan Alvarez joining the team in LA next weekend is, quote, not the most likely scenario, but we're not putting that aside. Yesterday, we find out he's being shut down with a setback. Ugh. Anyway, the Astros general manager, Dana Brown, had more to say.
Allow him to heal and get a little bit more answers as to, what steps we take next. I was very optimistic that he would return, potentially in LA, but more realistic about the Cleveland series. But with this current setback, we probably won't know anything for another 48 hours as to where he is. We felt like he was close because he had felt so good, of late. And so, but this is certainly news that we didn't want.
Pause for a moment again.
On the table.
On my way into work, because you're hearing Dana Brown say all the things that the doctors should be saying. We thought the doctors are the ones that should be saying this stuff. Jeremiah Randall and the medical staff. You know what I almost did today? And sadly, I could not find this store because I guess it doesn't exist. I used to go to a Party City all the time. I was going to go and buy a doctor's lab coat, a doctor's stethoscope, and that thing that they put on their head. was it a flashlight or something like that? And I was going to come to work today as Dr. Johnny Sins, one of the most versatile people in the game. I was going to come to work and I was going to give my own diagnosis. Because at this point, am I worse? I'm from the house of a learned doctor, my sister. Am I worse? That's how bad it is. And poor Dana Brown keeps having to go out there and say, yep, they didn't know what they were doing again. We thought things were going in the right direction. By the way, this is the same guy who weeks ago was talking about calcification of bones and what can and can't be determined from x-rays and MRIs. Dana Brown, he's a baseball guy. Why is he continuously having to pick up the dog poo and clean up the dog pee of the medical staff? And listen, I empathize with those. I've been taking care of my girlfriend's dogs the last couple of days. They've had some issues, you know, couple of pee incidents while I've been gone. Maybe it was the cats. I don't know. But I'm cleaning that up. I'm doing my job. Dana Brown's doing his job. Why is the Astros medical staff not doing their job? Dana Brown wrapping up right here. Your Astros general manager.
Certainly news that we didn't want.
Is surgery on the table?
It's too early to tell right now. I hope not, but we'll know after he sees the specialist tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out about surgery at some point today or on Thursday, heading into the 4th of July weekend where the Astros play the Los Angeles Dodgers. And by the way, they're going to be without Jeremy Pena. You know, there was a point where the way that the Astros medical staff doesn't communicate at all with us and their updates generally end up being wrong. There was a point that we arrived at where it had become a little bit funny. No, it had been a little bit funny. Kyle Tucker last year, 3 months, no harm, no foul. The Astros did well there. Yordan Alvarez this year. Jeremy Pena's rib injury from Friday to Sunday. Us learning that it was an actual rib fracture. Jeremy Pena spoke on that. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But now it has gone back to, instead of being funny, we're now back to someone needs to get got. Someone needs to be taken out back, Old Yeller style. I'm not asking for an execution, but am I suggesting Alligator Alcatraz? Which I just found out about yesterday. It sounds so awesome, although kind of messed up. I don't know. I don't know what we do, but to quote the Phantom of the Opera, we're past the point of no return. What are we doing? At this point, it makes no sense to continue to work with these guys. You are in Houston, Texas. There are plenty of other people who would probably bid in studio, but you can also call and text through the app, so you don't even have to dial anything up. Some comments as far as Yordan Alvarez's injury. For those who are just tuning in, Yordan Alvarez suffered a setback in West Palm Beach as he tries to rehab from a small fracture in his hand. Small, large. At this point, I do not want to hear size when it comes to Astros and broken bones, but he had hand soreness after taking swings Monday, has been shut down, and we'll see a specialist over the next 48 hours. We will see if he needs surgery. I am at the point right now where I am operating as if the Astros do not have Yordan the rest of the way, which is certainly quite the ceiling on this team's season, even if they've been doing well without him. You're going to need that bat in the playoffs. You need some lefty to keep people honest, because right now it's just Victor Caratini. To Caratini's credit, he had a grand slam last night, but that's it. Some comments here, because I had suggested that maybe I could be a doctor. I even thought about dressing up as Dr. Johnny Sins coming in to the station today. Chris and Humble says it's like we got Dr. Mantis Toboggan on our medical staff. For those who don't know, that is an alias of Danny DeVito on the television show Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Dr. Mantis Toboggan, and his move is really just about telling people he's a doctor and then dropping a condom from his pants that shows that he is endowed, for those who don't know. Now you understand the reference. Some others are theorizing about what it is that Yordan's doing that's leading to these setbacks, and I think they believe it might not be 100% baseball related. 409 Josh asks, what else is Yordan doing to hurt his hand? Boxing? Meanwhile, HRW713 says on Twitch, tell Yordan he can go blind doing that, and we should have no more problems. That's Dr. Johnny Sins related. So we'll keep you posted on if there's any updates with Yordan Alvarez. I'm past the point of laughing about this. I'm back to I want someone's head on a spike. Someone needs to get got. This is unacceptable. All of it. And it's not Dana Brown's fault. It's not Joe Espada's fault. Maybe a little Yordan Alvarez's fault for maybe not communicating as best as he can with the Astros medical staff or with the Astros decision makers. But I'm putting this all at the feet of the Astros medical staff. There's enough of a track record now over the past year between Kyle Tucker, between Yordan Alvarez, between Jeremy Pena, and every single Astros injury when we're talking about pitching also comes into question now. Everything has to be reevaluated at the very least, if not just a purge.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't understand how these people still have jobs.
I don't either.
Like
for them.
Like these are like normal, relatively normal people. They're still literal doctors, but it is like any other part of a sports organization that fails as much as these guys fail, and make the people that are at the top of the organization look worse. Which the people that look the worst every time an Astros player gets hurt is Dana Brown, Joe Espada, and the player themselves. They all look bad.
Right.
Every single time.
And there's one.
How do these people still have jobs?
There's one commonality every single time is that we do not hear from the people that actually are supposed to know what they are doing, who clearly do not. And I can say that now.
Yeah. I think we've the level of like, hey, listen, we're not doctors, so we really shouldn't like comment on what the Astros doctors are doing wrong, or it might be just a communication issue with Dana Brown. It's like, no, it's actually these morons don't know what they're doing. Like it just looks like we just have the dumbest doctors in the league working on this team.
And I feel very comfortable calling them out. Listen, my sister, doctor, very, very good at what she does. She is operating on life and death situations that involve kids. These people are doing injury-related concerns for a baseball team. This is not life or death, but this is something with tons of money behind it, and they just continuously screw up. Not in life or death situations. Okay, maybe that's why there's no accountability here. But what happens the next time the Astros look at somebody and accidentally kill them? And I say the next time, I'm being sarcastic and facetious and all that crap, but I mean, at this point, is it a 1% chance? Is it a 1% chance that some Astro has an illness? Oh, we give him a little IV or something. Oh, he's dead. Like, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like we do this segment every 2 weeks.
Sean, we've been doing it for
3 years.
3 years. We've been doing it back to Dusty Baker. We used to laugh at Dusty Baker because we were like, well, Dusty Baker doesn't know what he's doing. But nope, Dusty Baker was the original mouthpiece who was like, I have no idea what the hell's going on. It even admitted it basically at times, and we got mad at him for that. But it was never on Dusty. It was never on Joe Espada. It was never on AJ Hinch. It was never on Dana Brown. It was never on James Click. It was never on Jeff Luhnow. It's always been these guys who I'm assuming have been the same people for this entire time, and they get to hide behind some sort of language in the collective bargaining agreement so that they don't have to speak. It's BS for everyone else. It reminds me of back in 2017 when I was covering the Texans and I was in there every single day, and Bill O'Brien kept on getting asked questions after Deshaun Watson went down with a torn ACL about, are you going to sign Colin Kaepernick? Are you going to sign Colin Kaepernick? And O'Brien's like, what do you want from me? I don't have the power to sign players at that moment in time. He didn't, because there was a Rick Smith operation at that moment in time. And I think he was maybe using it as a way to say, hey, I would like to have the decision to build my own roster. Because I actually think that Texans coaching staff wanted Kaepernick. They thought that they needed a mobile quarterback behind that bad offensive line. But to bring it back to the Astros, people keep on being put in front of microphones to talk about this stuff who shouldn't have to talk about it, and it is making everyone angry at the wrong people. Jeremiah Randall and the Astros medical staff, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, just
get out.
It's like inexcusable. Like it was. I mean, when we have the Astros ER segment, it's clips from Dusty Baker talking about injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's clips from 2021 and 2022 of injuries, and that was when it was still, I guess, a little bit like, oh, this is just a funny side effect of, this is the one thing the Astros can't get right, and some of it's just the way Dusty Baker explains things, and that's probably the miscommunication. It's kind of funny, whatever. Doesn't know which hand it is, whatever. Now it's at the point where it's like back-to-back years, your best player has been out for
a significant
months now, and
there's been no explanation.
Well, no,
there
is an explanation. They don't know what a freaking fracture is, apparently. Yeah. These morons. Like, what other word is there? Just to call them, like, these guys are not good at their job.
No. They're telling them it's a small fracture. What? It's a fracture. It's a fracture. It's a broken bone.
Oh, it was a bone bruise for 2.5 months with Kyle Tucker until Dr. Kyle Tucker got to speak after he came back and said it was a fracture.
Because he got a second opinion. And by the way, how much money are they spending on these second, third opinions? Because they're getting a second opinion right now from Yordan Alvarez, They're
getting hand specialists. They're talking to hand specialists, finally.
They're probably losing money. I mean, they're contracting specialists and second opinions at this point.
Yes, and they're also paying a guy $25 million not to play because their doctors can't figure it out.
From the 832, you sound like an idiot. I think we found Jeremiah Randall's number. Should we share it? Want to dox this guy? I'm kidding.
713.
713-780-3776 to call, to text. If I sound like an idiot, what does the Astros medical staff sound
exactly?
Like, because I know I'm not smart. I'm not smart. These people are even worse.
Okay, if every show we started with like the Rockets are trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Every show at 12 o'clock, our lead segment is the Rockets are trading for him, and then we talk the entire show about the Rockets are getting Giannis, and then at the end of every show, we're like, actually, he's not. It's going to be tomorrow. It would be a terrible show. We would get fired.
Actually, it would be kind of funny,
but we would get fired.
How long would people?
But that's the thing with the Astros doctors. It started funny, and then it's like, actually, you're just bad at your job.
It is funny. Now that you mentioned it like that, it is kind of funny, but I got to bring it back. No, we're mad. We're all mad. We're collectively mad about it.
No, if you do it every day, it's the exact thing with the Astros. It's like, it's kind of funny. Or, I don't know. He whatever Dusty says in the open of Astros ER, where it's like, he wasn't crying, but he had tears in his eyes. Like it's like, that was funny. Now it's like your season is in jeopardy because this team that's on the line of being able to have enough offense to sustain winning baseball. Also, their best hitter might be out for the season.
It's crazy
because we think he's healthy, and then we have him swing a bat, and then his hand hurts every time.
Every time.
That's the other thing. It's the same exact situation as a month ago, where took a month off. He's feeling good. Have him swing a bat. Oh, his hand hurts. Like,
it's wild. And listen, I'm again, not an athlete, but I have broken both of my wrists before, and the recovery for these injuries, and with the smallest effing bone, the scaphoid bone, I broke them in both of my wrists. One of them, I had a cast on my hand for 3 to 4 months. It is fully healed. The other one, I had surgery. They put a screw in, and I had a cast on that, not a hard one, for 2 months. This is something that takes time, and they clearly, when it comes to fractures, have been pushing guys back out there. And wherever that messaging is coming from, I have a hard time believing that it's from the GM and the manager, both of whom who want to make the players probably happy so that they stay around long term and that others sign contracts. Like that is an important part of it. So is this coming all the way from Jim Crane down through the medical staff saying they got to get back out there? Or is this just the medical staff? Whatever the case, it needs serious reevaluation, if not firings. And none of those have happened at this moment in time.